I am not keeping myself quiet for this matter. It is about time that I start talking about this exact situation, because I know a lot of people are upset. I think. About maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I don't remember, Phil has privated all of the videos that we've grown up with. I even made a whole rant about it on my Discord server and on the video that 3D has uploaded, which will be linked down in the description below. For me, I got a little emotional, so I was just literally looping the video over and over and over again while writing what I was doing, because the music was just in my head. It was like, yeah, that's the good stuff. Now it is time for me to talk about like the actual things, okay? So on this screenshot, somebody made a petition of it, and 3D made a video about it. I think somebody else made a whole document about it as well. There's a lot going on. A lot of people were making, you know, documents, petitions, videos on it, and people were re-uploading his videos too, because, you know, everyone was going at it. For me, I was trying to really kind of back off from it, you know, but then realizing when I saw 3D's video on it, I was like, I can't keep myself quiet. I have to say something. I want to just, you know, cool down the fire, because it is about time that I say something. There is a lot that I want to talk about, but I'm going to make it nice and short. Okay, and the whole reasoning is that I just don't want to really milk this too much, because there's just nothing that I gotta do or say that is gonna bring Phil back, because, you know, that's a lie. That's a big lie, okay? That kind of gives me a reason to say something to all of you guys, and that is, there is no point in us forcing him to come back, because it's not gonna happen. And I know good and darn well it's not gonna happen. I said this already in the Discord, but if for people that are not in the Discord, I'm gonna tell you right now that Phil, he's happy. He's happy for what he's doing right now. He is happy. He doesn't need any, he doesn't want to be bothered anymore on the old SuperNova stuff, okay? Because it's all gone, you know? He wants to move on, and we have to respect it completely. I even, on like the first few messages of the Discord, I was ranting about it, but I was like disappointed. It was like a combination of like disappointment or whatever. But at this point, there's one thing that I really gotta, you know, speak out my mind, and that is, we're all kind of disappointed. We're all disappointed that he has privated all the videos that we grew up with, but at the same time, we gotta realize that he wants to move on, and we all gotta move on. Because, let's be honest, we're not, you know, we're not 8 years old, we're not 13 years old. I know that we want to keep the childhood alive and well. We want to be able to see all the content that we have grew up with over and watch it, just rewatch it over and over and over again. When we're growing up, we gotta move on. Like, let's say, for example, DanTDM, for example. I haven't watched DanTDM in a while, like a long time, because, you know, I'm kind of moving. I'm moving on. I'm trying to, you know, get into new content. Not saying that there's anything bad with DanTDM. DanTDM, he's doing his own thing too. He has kids now. He has kids. Phil, you know, he's trying to move on because he wants to get closer to the Lord and actually have a reason to live further on to like his 50s, 60s, 70s, grow old, right? He has a reason. And same with Jacksepticeye. You know, Jacksepticeye, he's, you know, he wants to continue doing content, but as you guys have realized, his content is slowly becoming less edited, right? On a lot of his content, he's making things simpler. For Markiplier, I haven't actually checked Markiplier in a while, so I don't know. You're realizing that there is changes. We're all changing, okay? Because it has been a decade since Phil was making videos, right? It has been a decade since he's been creating content for YouTube. But we lost him in 2018 because, you know, he needed a break, right? You have seen how his mental health was slowly deteriorating. I joined his Discord in around 2019, and I was talking to him saying like, hey, when are you gonna come back? You know, when are you gonna create new videos? And we did. We got to see like a little comeback video, like a little ragdoll, you know, dancing and stuff. We got to see that. And then we realized that he is coming back. You know, he started making content, he started live streaming, all that type of stuff. And we actually enjoyed him for 5 more years. And that's what we got to appreciate. That after all that he has been through for a decade, he still managed to pump out 5 more years of making content for us to watch. And now he's gone officially because I know he's not going to upload videos the same way anymore because he wants to move on from that. You know, he has recorded a lot of tornado survival videos. He has created a lot over the past decade, and we got to enjoy that for 5 years. So think of this situation like Unus Annus, if you know what that is. If you don't know what that is, Markiplier, don't kill me. It was basically something that you had to watch for a year, right? We got to watch the channel for a year, and then it's gone because it was a year. You only had to watch a year of it. That's exactly what it was. You know, that's kind of what I'm thinking of SuperNova right now. You know, we got to enjoy him for a decade, but now it's time to move on. And I have to admit, it is kind of a good way to do it. You know, you got to move on. You know, it's like, you know, Bill Nye the Science Guy. You won't see him anymore. Sometimes we got to let go. And that is here what I'm telling you right now, is that I, as a YouTuber, as a content creator that has been recording videos for almost a decade, the reason I've created content was because of SuperNova. Because of the person that I am today, I wanted to record content like this for so long. But the reason I have started to slow down was because of the changes that YouTube has, right? We're now kind of forced to make videos highly edited, you know, make them just drenched in a whole bunch of editing. But now I am starting to come with the conclusion that I don't want to do that anymore. I do not, and I admit, I do not want to completely bomb a video with a whole bunch of editing, which is almost a nightmare to create, especially that I am now working. I have college and I have Fire Academy all at once, and that completely deteriorates me so much. So now it is time for me to tell you that I am no longer going to be editing any videos the way that I do right now, because I am not going to completely burn myself out once more to do it. Okay, and I know you guys you've seen my content before. I've done so much to edit so many videos, and before I decide to completely move on from editing into simpler videos, which will happen eventually, but not at the moment, because I still have a few more videos that I have to, you know, completely edit and then upload to the channel. And then I might go switch to simpler videos because I don't want to, you know, work myself too hard, especially that I still have class and I also, you know, Fire Academy and work, you know, and that already on its own is a stress hole, okay? But I am going to start creating simpler videos with 3D and maybe X4 and maybe Briggy, okay? Because I don't want to, you know, start editing so much that I will, you know, completely burn myself out to the point where I just don't want to even look at the internet. You know, stress about, you know, Phil removing his content. We had the chance, right? And the sad truth is that when was the last time you really did see his content? When was the last time, before all this drama happened, before all this, you know, petitions, all that, when was the last time you really did see his content? And I'll admit, the last time I saw his content was probably months ago before this whole drama happened, and then I got a little emotional for it, whatever. But let's be honest, did you really see his content? His, like, older videos before this whole entire thing started? Maybe like 2 months ago before this started. Did you? I don't think so. If you didn't, then why care now? You didn't watch his content for months. Why care now, you know? That's the exact thing I'm saying, is that some of us, maybe not all of you guys, but some of you guys did, in fact, watch him. But some of you didn't. But now we're all kind of like thinking it, because it comes to the saying, you don't remember it until you lose it. I don't think that's how the saying goes. Is that we care for this because we've lost it, but we didn't give the opportunity to see it after it was lost. We all gotta come to the conclusion that we have lost SuperNova and we gotta move on, okay? I know that a lot of you guys have childhoods wrapped around SuperNova. and I get it. But we got to remember that we're also human too. He's human too. You know, we are all on the same page that we have lost somebody that our childhood has, you know, got built from, right? Our childhood was built from SuperNova because of his videos. But you got to remember that why do we have to worry now? Yeah, our childhood has got completely sucked away, okay? But you also got to remember we have the chance to do it too. Create a channel and make other people's childhood, you know, and that's the thing with me. I want to build other people's childhoods so they can see me and say, this is the guy that made me want to make content. That's what I want to do. Influence other people to make content the same way I got influenced to make content creation from other YouTubers, like SuperNova, for example, or Jacksepticeye, or DanTDM. Those are the people that influenced me to make content now. And that is what we gotta do. If we want to influence other people to make content so they can continue our legacy when we are gone and we're old and we retire, that's what we gotta do. So that's where I'm gonna leave it. And simpler videos are coming because I am dang tired of creating videos with just drenched in editing. I'm tired. Okay. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I am not going to do the piece of a flip out or whatever, because I'm not in the exact mind to do that. So, thank you guys so much for, you know, hearing my rant, and I'll see you guys next Saturday. I don't know, but goodbye.